Hey guys, this is part 2 of me reading The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. The last video went a little bit long, so I decided to make it 2 videos, and I hope that's okay. So continuing on. Awareness. In most of our daily activities, we choose the agenda and develop a strategy to achieve the goal at hand. We create the program. Awareness moves differently. The program is happening around us. The world is the doer, and we are the witness. We have little or no control over the content. The gift of awareness allows us to notice what's going on around and inside ourselves in the present moment, and to do so without attachment or involvement. We may observe bodily sensations, passing thoughts and feelings, sounds, or visual cues, smells, and tastes. Through detached noticing, awareness allows an observed flower to reveal more of itself without an intervention. This is true of all things. Awareness is not a state you force. There is little effort involved, though persistence is key. It's something you actively allow to happen. It's a presence with an acceptance of what is happening in the eternal now. As soon as you label an aspect of source, you're no longer noticing, you're studying. This holds true of any thought that takes you out of presence with the object of your awareness, whether analysis or simply becoming aware that you're aware. Analysis is a secondary function. The awareness happens first as a pure connection with the object of your attention. If something strikes me as interesting or beautiful, first I live that experience. Only afterward might I attempt to understand it. Though we can't change what it is that we are noticing, we can change our ability to notice. We can expand our awareness and narrow it, experience it with our eyes open or closed. We can quiet our inside so we can perceive more on the outside, or quiet the outside so we can notice more of what's happening inside. We can zoom in on something so closely it loses the features that make it what it appears to be, or zoom so far out it seems like something entirely new. The universe is only as large as our perception of it. When we cultivate our awareness, we are expanding the universe. This expands the scope not just of the material at our disposal to create from, but of the life we get to live. The ability to look deeply is the root of creativity, to see past the ordinary and mundane, and get to what might otherwise be invisible. The vessel and the filter. Each of us has a container within. It is constantly being filled with data. It holds the sum total of our thoughts, feelings, dreams, and experiences in the world. Let's call this the vessel. Information does not enter the vessel directly, like rain filling into a barrel. It is filtered in a unique way for each of us. Not everything makes it through this filter, and what does get through doesn't always do so faithfully. We each have our own method of reducing source. Our memory space is limited. Our senses often misperceive data, and our minds don't have the processing power to take in all the information surrounding us. Our senses would be overwhelmed by light, colour, sound and smell. We would not be able to distinguish one object from another. To navigate our way through this immense world of data, we learn early in life to focus on information that appears essential or of particular interest, and to tune out the rest. As artists, we seek to restore our childlike perception, a more innocent state of wonder and appreciation not tethered to utility or survival. Our filter inevitably reduces source intelligence by interpreting the data that arrives instead of letting it pass freely. As the vessel fills with these recast fragments, relationships are created with the material already collected. These relationships produce beliefs and stories. They may be about who we are, the people around us, and the nature of the world we live in. Eventually, these stories coalesce into a worldview. As artists, we want to hold these stories softly and find space for the vast amount of information that doesn't fit easily within the limits of our belief system. The more raw data we can take in, and the less we shape it, the closer we get to nature. One can think of the creative act as taking the sum of our vessel's contents as potential material, selecting for elements that seem useful or significant in the moment, and representing them. This is source drawn through us and made into books, movies, buildings, paintings, meals, businesses, whatever projects we embark on. If we choose to share what we make, our work can recirculate and become source material for others. Source makes available, the filter distills, the vessel receives, and often this happens beyond our control. It's helpful to know this default system can be bypassed. With training, we can improve our interface with source and radically expand the vessel's ability to receive. Changing the instrument is not always the easiest way to change the sound of the music, but it can be the most powerful. No matter what tools you use to create, the true instrument is you, and through you, the universe that surrounds us all comes into focus. The unseen. By conventional definition, the purpose of art is to create physical and digital artifacts, to fill shelves with pottery, books, and records. Though artists generally aren't aware of it, that end work is a byproduct of a greater desire. We aren't creating to produce or sell material products. The act of creation is an attempt to enter a mysterious realm, a longing to transcend. What we create allows us to share glimpses of an inner landscape, one that is beyond our understanding. Art is our portal to the unseen world. Without the spiritual component, the artist works with a crucial disadvantage. The spiritual world provides a sense of wonder and a degree of open-mindedness not always found within the confines of science. The world of reason can be narrow and filled with dead ends, while a spiritual viewpoint is limitless and invites fantastic possibilities. The unseen world is boundless. The word spirituality may not speak to those who dwell chiefly in the intellect, or those who equate the word with organized religion. If you prefer to think of spirituality as simply believing in connection, that's fine. If you choose to think of it as believing in magic, that's fine too. The things we believe carry a charge regardless of whether they can be proven or not. The practice of spirituality is a way of looking at a world where you're not alone. There are deeper meanings behind the surface. The energy around you can be harnessed to elevate your work. You are part of something much larger that can be explained, a world of immense possibilities. Harnessing this energy can be marvelously useful in your creative pursuits. The principle operates on faith, believing and behaving as if it's true. No proof is needed. When you're working on a project, you may notice apparent coincidences appearing more often than randomness allows, almost as if there is another hand guiding yours in a certain direction, as if there is an inner knowing gently informing your movements. Faith allows you to trust the direction without needing to understand it. Pay particular attention to the moments that take your breath away. A beautiful sunset, an unusual eye color, a moving piece of music, the elegant design of a complex machine. If a piece of work, a fragment of consciousness, or an element of nature is somehow allowing us to access something bigger, that is its spiritual component made manifest. It awards us a glimpse of the unseen. It's not unusual for science to catch up to art eventually, nor is it unusual for art to catch up to the spiritual. So I think I'll leave it. There, guys. I don't want to read too much because I don't know if I'm allowed to for these videos. Let me know if you liked this, if it was nice listening to the pages turning and everything. And I'll see if there's any other books I can read down the line. So I will see you in the next video, guys, and thanks for tuning in as usual.